Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I am your host, Corey Barrier, and I'm here with my man, Chad, better known as, is it Mr. Drive 12?
Yeah, Mr._Drive 12.
That's his
because
name.
Somebody already took Mr. Drive.
Oh.
I try to get it from him. He won't give it to me. I don't even think he uses the Instagram, to be honest. I'm like, I don't even think he uses it. I'm like, he just has it. I'm like, dang.
He's sitting on it.
Yeah, and the 12 means because I started the brand in 2012.
Oh, really?
So some people ask that, why do you have the 12? And I'm like, well, I started in 2012.
So Chad, let me ask, if I look at you on Instagram and I see, your beard and all your tats and you're fucking jacked the fuck up, I would not think clothing company. So,
right?
What put you in the clothing industry? I mean, did you start out there? Did you have something that started before that? Why don't you just take us through, what your journey was, brother?
Okay. Well, first of all, it goes way past, the clothing, obviously, before I even thought of a clothing. I had no idea. I had no intentions. You know what I mean? I had no intentions of starting a clothing brand. It's not like I went to school for it. I didn't go to school for business. I didn't go to school for any of that. I just was, working, just trying to find my way in life, working this job here, hating this and hating that. And then I started getting into working out and I started loving it. And I was like, man, I really have a passion for this. This is awesome, to the point it was affecting the jobs that I was at, and the managers didn't like it. And, so because, you're bringing your food, I got to go work out, and drinking your water all the time and stuff like that. I really started finding a passion for it. And so I was like, I'm not happy anymore. I'm just not happy. I need to be happy. Money is great, but happiness is way better. And I was like, well, what can I do to keep doing what I'm doing, but still be able to work out? And no one's going to bitch at me about it or anything like that. So became a personal trainer.
That's exactly what happened to me.
And this was back in, this was back in, I don't know, probably 2008, maybe 2007 or something. And maybe even longer, maybe 2006 or something like that. And, so I got on with the gym and got around the same group of people like me. Had a great group. My first experience being a personal trainer was phenomenal. We had an amazing training group. Everybody had their own thing going, but we all were able to connect very well. And that was awesome, but again, like I said, but I wasn't making as much as I was at the other jobs because it was commission based. But again, I was happy though. So when you're happy, you will start making more money because you're happy doing what you're doing. So in the beginning, it was a little rough, but since I was happy every day, here comes the money. You know what I mean? But so then that started growing. I did that for a while, got into bodybuilding. Game changer. Bodybuilding changed that. I owe so much to the bodybuilding community. So much to that. Because once you started bodybuilding, then you're taking your fitness level to a whole other level. And now it's serious because now we're competing. And I like to compete. I'm a competitor. So I took it very, very serious. I wouldn't even eat a peanut off of my diet plan. Very, very, very strict. Working out 2-3 times a day. Making sure I got in all my water. Making sure I ate all the meals. Perfect to the exact, because I'm about to get basically butt naked in front of all these people. And flex my muscles.
That's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking, which, by the way, Tony Freeman's a good friend of mine.
Oh, really? X-Man. Yeah, I like Tony, man. Tony actually guest posed at one of my shows way back. I mean, this is before they had even men's physique and stuff. Women's bikini wasn't even around. So it was just bodybuilding and figure. That was it. It was like, dude, you're either going to be a bodybuilder or you're going to be a figure competitor. So it doesn't matter how big you are. You're a bodybuilder, bro. Like, you got to compete with these big boys. But yeah, I got into the bodybuilding thing. And the number one thing, and I actually made a YouTube video about it. The number one thing I learned from bodybuilding was discipline. That taught me so much discipline. And as I did about 5 or 6 shows, right? Did pretty well, but I didn't really have the genetics for it. You know what I mean? It comes to a point where you can only train so hard, you can only do so much. but then the genetics starts to become a point. And then also too, you're like, I'm not really making any money doing this. Like, yeah, I love it, but man, dude, this is getting expensive. And do I really see myself going? I had goals involved in it, but I was like, how can I still stay involved in the sport, but make money in it? So kind of like when it went back to my old days of working at just regular jobs, and I got into working out, how can I make money and still be able to work out every day and no one's going to be pissed off that I'm more focused on working out? Okay, became a personal trainer. So the bodybuilding led me into the clothing line. So because I saw vendors at bodybuilding shows setting up, selling their t-shirts. And I had got a tattoo after a bodybuilding competition, and it says The Drive, right? A buddy came over and he goes, hey man, what's that say on your arm? I said, it says The Drive. And he's like, dude, that would be a cool clothing line. And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm actually sitting there eating a meal and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, dude, whatever. And I was like, well, what makes you say that? And he was starting a clothing line. And I was all like, well, how would you even do that? Like, how does that even happen? How do you start a clothing line? And then, he told me some things, and basically it was just whatever, at the end of it, you're like, okay, whatever, just like any idea. You kind of like,
sure,
you have an idea, but some you put into play and some you don't. Well, that sparked my interest. And I was like, well, I am kind of complaining about how I'm not really getting paid to bodybuild. This would keep me in the bodybuilding community, because why? I could set up at shows, so that's
right.
keeping me around bodybuilding, and that will motivate me to keep working out and be big, this big dude behind a booth selling t-shirts. So started the brand, pop trunk in parking lots. And when I got my first order shirts, call my friends. Hey man, I got these shirts, man. I got these shirts in. I would meet them. I would drive. I didn't care how far I had it. I'd drive across town in Houston just to go sell a shirt. I didn't care, because I was like, cool, this dude wants a shirt, I'm going. Because this was back in 2012 now, when Facebook was just really getting kind of going to promote your brand and stuff. So I just would travel around all the shows in Texas, setting up a booth or setting up in a parking lot. Anybody that had there was any opportunity, I would go there and set up. I didn't care. If it was freezing cold, if it was raining, if it was hot as shit outside, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm going to sell these shirts. I know I got something here. And the whole point in the brand is the drive, is not to stop. I knew in the back of my head, that's when people are, what motivates you to keep going? Well, the name of the brand.
Right.
The name of the brand, the drive. If I stop now, after the first customer I sold a shirt to, right? If I stop now, then the meaning behind the brand means nothing. You know what I mean? It means nothing. It's like, well, dude, it means absolutely nothing. So that's what kept me always going with the brand, is that if I stop, all these people that have bought a shirt from me, I've completely let them down. Even if that person's only bought, even if I've had somebody that bought that first shirt that I ever printed, if they've never bought from me again, and let's say today I shut down the company, I've let that person down.
So I wish more people, Chad, I wish more people would think like that.
And you have to, in order to grow a brand, because it's just, at the end of the day, is it a t-shirt? Yeah, you're right. It is a t-shirt. But it's more than a t-shirt when it actually has meaning behind it. And there's more about the brand and what it means and what it represents, and how do the owners act, and are you helping other people? Are you encouraging everything about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. So people buy brands because of the brand story. I think it's like 58% of the time.
I believe
That's huge. I mean, that validates exactly what you just said.
Because then other than that, it's just a t-shirt.
That's it.
It's just a t-shirt. It's just another t-shirt with a skull on it.
Yeah.
But what makes yours different? It's like, well, the brand, what it speaks for. If I let that first person to ever buy a drive shirt for me, if I stop and shut down the company, I let down the first person to ever buy a t-shirt from me, and so on. I let all those people down. So if you can live with that, cool. I can't live with that. I can't live with that. I can't live with it, because it's not. I have a big heart. I can't live with the fact that even if I was barely getting by, which I did for a very long time with the clothing company, and I did that, and I did the shows and did all that, and I actually had to shut the brand down. I started out of a 1-bedroom apartment. Started out of a 1-bedroom apartment. Then I finally saved up enough to get into a 2-bedroom apartment. Shipping, packaging, everything. You know what I mean? Doing everything 100% by myself. You know, shipping out some orders, loading up my Chrysler 300 and driving across to Dallas, from Houston to Dallas, to set up at a bodybuilding show, leave early that morning and come back that night because I didn't have enough money to get a hotel room. But I had to do what I had to do, you know what I mean, at that time. And then I went from a 2-bedroom apartment. For a long time, I was in a 2-bedroom apartment, you know, a very long time. And then I actually had to shut the company down, you know. And
tell me about that day. Tell me about how you felt that day when you had to do that.
It was horrible. You know, it's horrible. However, and this is where a lot of people make mistakes. I was able to, not luckily, I knew how to manage my money properly. So when that time did come, I had enough money to get a house. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get a house. You know what I mean? So, you know, what was it devastating? Were there many nights in tears, you know, literally crying by myself at this time? I was single. I had nobody. You know, I had my parents, but I had nobody else around me. Sure. So it was like, well, this is it. You know what I mean? And thinking many nights, like, I've let all these people down. I've let them all. And then when you start hearing the rumors from people too, oh, the drive failed. He can't do it. He can't keep it going. And da-da-da-da. You're just like, man, dude, this sucks. You know, and it starts messing with your emotions. And you're like, maybe I can't do it. Maybe everybody is right. You know, like, but then the next day you wake up like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get back up and make this happen. So I said, okay, I'll shut it down. Fuck it. Let everybody say that this isn't going to work. He's going to shut it down. Like, look, see, I told you shut it down. Look, go to his website. You can't even go to the website anymore. Da-da-da-da. I let everybody keep talking. I was like, cool, man, whatever. I don't give a shit. Cool. But I knew what I was doing. And my whole thing was I was rebranding. It was time to rebrand. And that's what happens in the clothing game. The clothing game is very tough. And sometimes you do have to rebrand. And sometimes you have to refine yourself within your brand. You might have lost yourself, which I did. I lost myself a little bit there. You know, you want me to tell you the answer why?
Sure, please.
I got cocky.
I got cocky. Ego. So I got this money coming in, right? And I'm like, cool. I'm making this steady, a decent amount of money. Everything is good. I'm a single guy. Everything's cool. Fuck it. You know, I'm chilling. But that was the problem. I got comfortable. Ooh.
You know what I mean? So I got cocky and then I got comfortable. You know, and that's why I have a shirt that says comfort kills. Because when you get comfortable, it doesn't matter if you're making $1 million a month. If you get comfortable, you will lose that $1 million a month. It will happen. When? I don't know, but it will. Trust me. If you get comfortable, it's almost like it's easier to get to $1 million than it is to maintain $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's easier to make $1 million than to maintain $1 million. But can you maintain it? That's the hard part.
That's the discipline.
Yeah, and that's where the discipline came from, the bodybuilding. Luckily, that bodybuilding taught me that to never really get comfortable and to stay on it and always keep going. But I fucked up. I slacked, and I did get comfortable, and I did get cocky, and I did see all these things happen to me. And when all the blaming came about, right, all the things that I would blame on why the company's not failing, I had to really look in the mirror and go, is it all because of this, Chad? Or is it because you just got comfortable and you're not as disciplined anymore? And then that's when I realized, I said, yeah, it's because I got comfortable. You know, I'm not being disciplined anymore. And I just want to play the blame game and blame everybody else except for the guy in the mirror.
Yep. And guess what? And guess what, dude? Chad, you know, you said it perfectly. Like, we are the chokehold to the business. If there's a chokehold, it's the man looking in the mirror.
Yeah, that's only person you can blame.
That's
you know,
exactly
even if somebody else did do something. Yeah, okay, cool. So what are you going to do? Dwell on that? Or look at the guy in the mirror and go, yeah, but let's really break it down. You invited that person in. Yeah, that's kind of on you, bud.
That's right.
You know? Even though you didn't know that person was going to do that, you still invited them, so it's still on you. You know what I mean? Right.
Yep. So it's like having a party and the one guy pisses on your carpet. Guess what, dude? You let him in the house.
Yeah. And then
You know,
like, man, why are you pissing on the carpet? You're that drunk? Awesome. That's a party. I kind of want to go to that party.
Right?
Like, I really want to go to that party. That sounds fun.
That does sound like a blast.
That sounds like a video that's going to go viral right there.
Yeah, and probably throw some whippets in there.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, so, and then anyway, so I went into, I shut down the company, revamped it, you know, and, you know, kind of like, again, finding yourself within your brand. I was really into motorcycles and stuff. So I was like, you know what, maybe I need to start moving more into that direction in the motorcycle community. During the time when I had shut it down, I had a severe motorcycle crash. So game changer though, dude. You know, like most people say, man, I wish that motorcycle never would have happened to me. And if you've been down on a motorcycle, if there's anybody listening right now that's been down on a motorcycle, they know exactly what I'm talking about without even saying anything. You know, it is fucking intense, very intense, you know, and most people say, man, I wish that would have never happened to me. Me, on the other hand, I'm glad it happened. You know why? Because so many people were going, you're going to get back on that bike? I go, fuck yeah, I am. As soon as it's repaired and back in that garage and I'm able to ride, hell yeah, I'm getting back on that motherfucker. Because I love it. And hey, if you fall, do you get back up or do you just stay on the ground? Or you feel most people that fall on a motorcycle will sell their bike and they'll never get back on it. Why? Because now they're scared.
Fear.
You know what I mean? You're scared. The fear is now taking over instead of going, yeah, man, but how much but when you were on that bike, how did you feel? Did you feel free, that everything was amazing in your life? So you're willing to lose that because you're scared that you might go down again. Me, I get it. You know, hey, cool, that's fine. But for me, fuck that. I was like, I'm not scared. I know the mistakes that I made that day, you know, and there's some things that are out of your control, but fuck it, I'm not scared. You know what I mean? Because I love doing it and I'm passionate about it. So that's kind of how I came up with the whole Road Rash collection within my brand. And
that makes all the sense in the world. So what happened with the wreck? You mind me asking?
So we were leaving a Cody Jinks concert. I don't know if you know who Cody Jinks is, country singer. But we were leaving a Cody Jinks
concert. Black by chance?
Huh?
Is he black by chance?
Black? No, he's white.
Sean, the reason we were talking about Sean a minute ago, and he's really good friends with a guy, it's a black country singer named, I think his name is Cody. Anyway, that's beside the point. Go ahead.
But Cody Jinks, so we left the Cody Jinks concert and we were going down 45, which is right by downtown Houston, which is, you know, if you've ever been to Houston, it's huge out here, you know. And man, we were coming down and I guess I don't even really remember. I was told a dog in that area, which is crazy because it's right by downtown, but they said in that particular spot, a lot of stray dogs run across the highway. And it just so happened, a dog came running across, and I don't even remember, and fucking boom, I hit it. And dude, I slid for probably a good 100 yards, just on my side like this. And I put my hand down on the concrete keep my leg from going up underneath the bike. So I'm just riding this thing and fucking sparks are flying up. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm thinking in my head like, dude, this is really happening right now. Like, holy fuck, I'm down on this bike. And then I was able to finally let go of the bike and the bike just goes flying far as fuck. And I was like, holy fuck. And I pounced out because the adrenaline is just rushing at that point. You know what I mean? And then the cars are, and this is on 45. Anybody that lives here in Houston knows exactly what 45 and Main Street. It's like fucking a lot of cars. And dude, I was like shocked I didn't even get hit by a car. Like I just was blessed that day. Like somebody was looking over me. God was there for me that day. Straight up. There's no way I should have survived. It's like, I can't believe I survived it. And got up and I was just like, holy fuck, my hand was just ripped to shreds. Had just road rash all right through there. Road rash, like I said, all over my hands and stuff. You know, and then, you know, went to the hospital and just was down. So lost no business, no website up, you know what I mean? Not making any money. And then I'm laid up on the couch. You know what I mean? And just right back again. I'm like, damn, I'm starting all over in my life. But like where I say why it was a blessing for me is why the Road Rash collection came about. Because I was like, people call it distress when you put the holes and stuff on there. That's technically what the fashion world would call it. Well, I call it the Road Rash collection because it has meaning behind it because of the wreck. I got knocked down where most people would stay down. I think we could all agree on that. Most people that go down on a motorcycle would definitely stay down, where I said, fuck that, I'm getting back up. I'm going to continue to ride, and I'm going to continue to do what I love to do in life. Because again, goes way back again from the beginning of all this about being happy. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's what made me happy. And I don't care and I've always told other people, if I ever was to die on a motorcycle, don't be sad. Just look at it this way. Remember, I was happy. You know what I mean? I've always said it to people, if I ever did die, if something happens to me on a motorcycle, to my parents, my friends, my girlfriend, everybody, just remember I died happy. Don't be sad because I died happy. And that's what, and so that's why, and then I felt like if I bring out the Road Rash collection, I can bring that story somehow and touch more people and be able to, so that other people can relate to it. You know what I mean? Because some people ask about the holes. Why does everything have holes in it and stuff like that? I'm like, well, it's part of the Road Rash collection. There's more behind the holes. It's not just, obviously it's fashion, it's trending, it looks cool or whatever, but there's meaning behind every single hole. And my vision with the Road Rash is, if I was to go down on a motorcycle, or you or whoever was going on, how would your shirt look after you got up after being on a motorcycle? And so I kind of make the rips based on that. Like, how would I think, if I fell this way, how would the rips look like on the shirt? Okay, cool. So if I fell to my left, how would that look? All right, cool. Let's distress it that way. Because that's how I feel like it would look. You know what I mean? So then that's how, and then, so this whole time while I'm down, I'm totally revamping I'm giving the brand a whole new look, a total new look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you wouldn't have been, Chad, you wouldn't have been able to do that if God had not slapped you on the ground and said, hey, dude, you need to stay still for a minute.
Yeah.
Look at what I'm trying to show you.
Yep.
Because you'd have missed it if you hadn't had that accident.
And I was back out of control again too, because the fitness changed my life, not to go back, but to go back and, for the, the listeners, the reason why I got into working out and stuff is because, I was doing drugs, I was drinking alcohol all the time, just partying all the time, just like whatever, working my job and just doing whatever, getting out of shape and all that. And that's what's happening. Even though I was still staying fit, I was still just partying and getting out of control because, again, like I said, I was making a little bit of money that I thought was a lot at the time, which wasn't shit, is I'm getting comfortable, I'm partying. And that's what I mean by I got comfortable and cocky, meaning that I was out there partying, living it up. And two, you start building a name for yourself as Mr. Drive. And now people know who you are when you go out in public and stuff like that. It starts kind of getting in your head a little bit. And then you start thinking you're invincible. Well, the good man upstairs said, you're not as invincible as you think, and I'm going to make you fucking realize that real soon. You know what I mean?
You do. More, I know what you mean, more than you, like in more ways than you have. Let me tell you, I have to stop you for a quick second. So, ironically, and I swear to God, this is the 100% truth. Before you started your motorcycle story, I almost said to you, hey, I talked myself out of even bringing it up because I saw it was so stupid. But but when I was about 9 years old, maybe 8, and I was on a Honda 50, right? You remember a Honda 50, little bitty ass bike, and I'm driving along maybe 30 miles an hour, and the same motherfucking thing happened to me. A dog came out. I saw him, and I'm thinking, he's going to move. He's not going to stay there. And I just T-boned him and went down, and it was nowhere near as bad as yours. But my point is isn't that ironic that we both hit a dog? I never met another person in my life that's hit a dog.
Right, yeah. That's crazy.
Right.
Crazy. And that's where, like when you said about like even with the wreck, some people go down harder than others. But there's a reason why you were able to keep walking away from that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's when some people, when they fall like that in anything in life, but it doesn't have to just be a motorcycle. It could be anything. It could just be like anything, a relationship,
really?
Anything like that. You have to sometimes say like, you have to look past that and not get so caught up on that and just say, well, why am I here? Why did God put me here? I believe in God 100%.
So do I.
Very, 100% that things happen for a reason, but I also really believe that God puts people in certain situations to see, let me test this guy. Test how badass you think you really are. Because there's a lot of people out there that think they're badass. It's like, yeah, but when you get put to that test, we'll really see how badass you really are. And God is going to test you. He's going to test you. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, but yeah, that's what happened with the brand and stuff. And then, you know, I got it going, gave it a new look, basically the look that you see today. And once I was able to do that, you know, things started evolving a little bit different. I started thinking a little bit different. But don't get me wrong, just because I came out with this new look it is today, it just all of a sudden took off. No, it took years. That was back in 2016. And it really took about a good year, maybe almost 2 years for me to really get things going still. So many still nights in my house, all alone, in tears. Many nights where it's like, I don't think this is still not going to work. Even after going out in the motorcycle wreck, it's still all these things happening to me. It's still not going to work. And then it's like, I don't know what it is with me, man, getting injured and stuff. But then it's like, boom, tore my ACL meniscus. And it was just like, fuck, man, like now I'm back down again. But at that moment, when I did tear the ACL meniscus, man, that's when the brand started taking off. Right there, like, and this was back in like 2018, you know? And I was like, dude, why am I back down again? And I thought about it, and I was like, you know why? Because since I've restarted the brand and stuff like that, I'm still not 100% committed. I'm really not. I'm acting like I am, but I'm not 100% serious. I could be putting way more attention and work into this. So I felt like, again, God's putting me in this situation again. Here we go again. And now I'm on the couch for weeks on end, laid up, can't even move, going, fuck, what am I going to, like, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm really putting a lot of thought into this. And then having help around people, I had a great circle at that time. Great circle, great group of people around me at that time that were willing to help me, whereas before I didn't have that as much help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that I had this circle around me, and that's what usually, you know, when you talk about business and stuff, it's about building relationships. And sometimes it takes another person to come into your life to really, really change things up. Because you get, you know, as a business owner, you really get stuck in your ways. Sure. And you're scared to like let somebody else handle something because you've been doing it for so long. It's your baby. It's like, you know, you have a baby and you're saying, oh, this new baby soon is going to take care of our kid.
Right.
I don't know about that. You know what I mean? So you get a little scared. You're like, I don't know. This is my baby. Are you sure this person's good? So that's how it is, like, you know, with business. It's
Same
like,
thing.
Baby, man. Like, I'm not going to just think. I went through fucking, you know, motorcycle wrecks and all kinds of, I could go on and on about all the shit I've gone through with it, you know? Sure. But and then once that happened and just, you know, gave it a whole new look and got the right people around me, we were able to build the brand now to this day where, you know, but we maxed out the house. And that was the whole plan of why I bought the house was to, I said, okay, if this brand can take off, at least I have a house, which is technically a warehouse. Is, you know, how I'm thinking is, well, this is my warehouse. So I operated that house and I was there by myself for a while, packaging orders and all this stuff. The guest bedroom filled with everything filled with orders. And then I was able to bring on employees and start having people help me. You know what I mean? And that's hard to do. It's hard to find employees. It's hard to find good workers and good people around you. And I had a good person and I had a couple of good people that came into my life that game changer, total game changer, total, and made my mind even start thinking way differently, where they were more positive than me. And I'm supposed to be Mr. Drive, the positive, uplifting guy. But I'm human still. You know what I mean? Can't be positive. It's hard to be positive all the time. But those people made me have different views in my life and started really making things change. And then once that happened, now, man, we're up to, we have our own production center. We have almost 30 employees now, and we're rolling. You know, but you know, you're talking about 2012, and we're in 2020. You know, right. I would say in the year, I would say in the good about a year and a half now is when really things have changed for me in my life. So really, I would say the year and a half has been really a year, I would say, has been game changer in my life. You know? Which
is bizarre, dude, because think about,
I had to go through a lot.
Well, not to mention that, you know, the last 4 months, 5 months have been a complete disaster. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I say complete disaster. The country is in, you know, upside
Yeah,
down
right
or
now,
whatever.
yeah, with everything right now, yeah.
So, you know, one of my buddies, Caleb, who I think you know, I know you
Yep,
know,
yep,
he's
yep.
a he's one of my dear friends. In fact, I'm going up to Wisconsin to hang out with him and Wheeler. You know, Ryan.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, so Caleb, I said, hey, I'm talking to Mr. Drive today. What is there anything you'd want me to ask him? He said, you know, how do you stay focused on your mission in a world of chaos? That was one of his questions.
Are we talking about? Oh, because I'm just going by what you were just a second. Are we talking about 2020, or are we talking about
Yeah,
everything?
2020. With all the craziness going on, how do you stay focused on
Same as I did in 2019, 2018, all the other years.
nothing's
Because my
changed?
life has never been. You know, ask my parents, man. I could bring them on the show right now, and they'll tell you, huh, Chad, fuck, man, all over the place, always getting injured, always always something happening. It's like, yeah, you got this world of chaos, but I kind of focus on my circle, my
Yeah.
team, the people involved in my life, the relationships I have with the people that I have right now. And then this world of chaos, it's like, it's out of my control a little bit. A little bit. You know, I could say what I could say. I could
Yeah.
speak up, which I have to a certain extent. I have a business, so I have to kind of maybe be a little careful. But I do speak a lot what's on my mind. I am staying who I am. And it is what it is. You adapt and
Yeah.
overcome, like the Mayans. You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
So
Yeah,
you
for
go back in
sure.
history and you go, hey, man, it's called adapting and overcoming. You know what I mean? But don't just lay down. You know what I
Right.
mean? Don't just say, oh, I'm just going to give it to you all. And trust me, I fight back. I do what I can. But there's some things that are just out of your control. So if you focus so much on the things that are out of your hands and that you can't control, well, dude, every day is going to be a bad day
Yeah, it
because
is.
you're too focused on the things that we can't control. But we can control this. We can do this. We can say this. You know, like Andy says everything that's on his mind. You know what I mean? Sean says everything that's on his mind because they know what. But I can say this and I can do that. Over here, I don't know. I can't. There's only so much I can do and say, but I can't sit there and focus on it, on all this negative energy. And, you know what I mean?
And why would you, right? Because
Why?
all this craziness and focusing on it is not going to make you any more money.
And the people around you that follow you and listen to you, you're down bringing them down because you're
That's
just
right.
so focused on all this negativity, which you already know they're focused on it. You know what I mean? So if you have social media is destroying a lot of people's minds right now because you know what the problem is? You're looking at that when you should be looking at this. That's the problem. It's like if you would stop focusing so much on something you have no control over, and you started focusing back, getting back to focus, man. That's what I tell, you know, because I do the diet plans and stuff like that. I know we haven't talked about that much, but I do the Drive diet and I do have my legends and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but if you would focus more on this, on your diet plan that you paid for and did all this and working out, oh, but the gyms are closed. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right. Figure
dude,
it out.
like figure it out, man. Like I'm having to, you know, oh, well, you got a home gym. Well, yeah, but you could too. But you spend your money on this instead. So don't sit there and start making up these excuses and go out there and run. Go out there and do push-ups. Go out there and do sit-ups. You can still find a way to eat right, dude. Trust me. You can go to fast food places and eat right. I mean, you can go anywhere to eat right. I don't want to hear that. That shit's fucking like goes one out there. I've been a trainer most my life for the most part, you know? So it's like I've heard every excuse in the books, you know, and it doesn't, it's like, okay, well, cool. All right, you want to make those excuses? Okay, well, you still got to eat chicken and rice, dude. So,
Answer's
you
still
know,
the same,
I don't have
dude.
to tell you, man, like, yeah, but all this stuff is going on in the world. Yeah, well, you still got to eat chicken and rice, you know? It's like, that's it, the zombies took over. Man, the zombies are all out there, and I wish I had a six-pack. Well, man, you got to get chicken and rice, so you're going to have to figure out something like, yeah, but dude, there's zombies everywhere. It's like, I don't know, dude. Like, you're going to have to figure that out. You know what I mean? There's one way or another. You gotta just stay focused, man, and stay on it and stop. If Caleb's listening, I'm sure it's like, Caleb, man, if everything that's going on in this world right now, if it's really affecting you right now, what do you think you should do? Maybe you need to turn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just turn it off. Maybe stop watching the news.
It's
Maybe
so
stop.
ironic.
And maybe just stop listening to it all and maybe get back to what Caleb does, you know, and what Caleb's focused on, what your goals are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you need to just tune it off. I'm not saying that it's not gonna, it's still there. I get it. And I guarantee you, I understand that you need to speak up and say something, but at the end of the day, this will eventually pass over. It has to. We have to make it pass over. So you're going to focus all this energy on it. And then when it does pass over, when it does end, you've lost all this time that you could have been focused on you. And now you were 10 steps ahead and now you're 10 steps back.
And you just hit, dude, that was the best thing you could have said, because you're 100% right. And Caleb and I, we started, so he had called me, he was in Arizona or somewhere, and he said, hey, what do you think you want to start, you want to start 75 hard again? I was like, dude, no fucking way. I was like, I already did it once. I'm not doing it again. He was like, you sure? And I'm like, why? You know, and he was like, you know, it was like, I know you've been through it. It was like, I just want to see if you can go through it. I'm like, you know what, Caleb? Yeah, let's go through it. And so it was 4 of us that went through it. And I'm so glad I got that phone call that day, because it was right at the beginning of all this shit. And, you know, I could have very well been where probably 80% of the country is right now, which is sitting in front of the news, which I don't do. And so, you know, I shifted because I could see myself doing that, right? I can see myself going either direction. I've struggled with drugs and alcohol for years, and not in a long time. But my point is like, I know Corey can go off in left field if given the opportunity. So why even give it the opportunity? So I just took the other way out. And I took it a step further, and we did a 5-day fast. I did a 5-day fast with my wife, and boy, that sucked.
Yeah.
It was water.
Yeah.
Just water.
But you did it to yourself anyway. So it's like, hey, you want to get back on it, you got to get back on it, you know?
But what it did for me here was I can't put it into words.
Yeah.
Can't put it into words, because if I can get through 5 days without eating, I can get through just about any damn thing.
Dude, and that's where it comes back to the whole bodybuilding. And I know 75 hard is not a fitness, it's not a diet. I understand where Andy's going with it and all that, you know, but where I can relate some is the bodybuilding again, is that's what the bodybuilding taught you. It's just that discipline and just like how you have to stay strict on it. And that's why I like his 75 hard, because it is teaching people that, man, but if you can do this fitness thing, man, you can do anything. Read the 10 pages a day. And I think he has different levels. Like once you do the next level, it becomes a little bit more intense, a little bit more harder and stuff like that. I get it. And it's just like, man, but it still comes right to me. Nothing is what he's doing right now, but just what I'm talking about in my life. The first thing I tell people is, man, how's your fitness levels? Because if you could do that, because I know you want to start this business. I know you want to go and do all that, but how's your fitness? How's your personal health? Because without you, well, there is no business. And then, well, what do you mean? I'm here, right here, standing here. Today you are. But since you treat your body like shit, okay, and you keep your car cleaner, nicer, oil changed all the time, you focus more on your car out there, and it's way more detailed and looks badass than you, well, dude, you're not going to last long. So if you can, that's why I tell people, man, if you can get on that health kick and get on that, and you can you can apply that same health kick that you're on right now to just life in general, everyday life and in business, game changer, total game changer, you know?
Agreed.
And that's why I preach health so much, because at the end of the day, I owe everything to health and fitness.
Yeah.
Everything, where I'm at today, health and fitness, you know?
100%. So, you know, so one thing I do want to hit on too is that, you know, obviously you're a cannabis smoker. How in the hell are you able to work out as much as you do and run a business? I don't know how much weed you smoke, but by the pictures, I would say you smoke a pretty regular amount.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, man, I have real bad anxiety. I get like, especially when I'm around crowded people, and if I know I'm going to be around like a lot of people, I get real bad anxiety, you know?
Sure.
And it definitely grew a lot more once I started getting bigger, then the more tattoos, then the beard and everything like that. So naturally, you just draw a lot of more attention. People like to test you a little bit, say some things that that most people will be like, man, how you letting that slide? You know what I mean? So it helps with that. And it just helps it helps with my sleep because my mind is nonstop. Like, man, you can ask my girlfriend. It's hard for me to, sometimes I just want to keep it. And I'm just like, I don't stop. Like, it's hard for me to turn it off.
Yeah.
So the weed kind of like helps me like calm down, relax, not overthink stuff too. And I don't know, man, it just puts me in a great mood, you know?
Yeah.
But,
No,
you know,
I mean,
there's times I'll go throughout the day without smoking, you know, and like I won't smoke until nighttime when it's time to go to bed. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the mood. You know, like today, I haven't smoked at all today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just depends. It depends on the mood. If I'm feeling all right, my anxiety's not too bad or anything, then I go. But if the anxiety starts to come in, I start overthinking a lot of things, you know, maybe getting a little upset about small things that I shouldn't get upset about. That definitely helps. Not saying to go, you know, oh, well, that's the only way I'm a good person is when I'm high.
Right.
You know, it's a medication. It really does help. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, I totally agree, and I think it'll be legal everywhere at some point.
Yeah. And then when it comes to
should
working
be.
out, when it comes to working out, smoking and stuff, you know, not every, you know, I don't smoke every time I work out, but there is times I smoke before I work out because I'll just focus in more. Again, it depends on where the anxiety is, where I'm at, where my mind's at the time. You know, if it's in a place where I don't feel like it's safe in a way, then, you know, it's like, all right, let me smoke this somewhat, you know?
Yeah.
So I
Makes
think it
total
helps,
sense.
you know, but not everybody can do it. You know what I mean? Because it gives you that
Sure.
feeling, you know, super overthinking. But that's why I tell people, I'm like, well, just remember, if you get high and you start getting paranoid, just say it's the weed, man. You know what I mean? It's the weed, man.
Right.
Just chill. Just chill, dude. You're overthinking it, man. To chill. And then once you start thinking that way, you're like, oh, it's because I just got high, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's interesting. It made me think of, so I did my second ayahuasca journey 3 weeks ago, right? I'm sure, are you familiar with ayahuasca?
No, what is it?
So ayahuasca is an Amazonian plant, all right? You go,
Okay.
and a lot of people go to Peru and you drink it. It's disgusting. It's nasty as fuck.
Hmm.
And what it does is it taps into the pineal gland and the DMT that you harbor in your body.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what DMT stands for, dimethyltryptamine. You've heard Joe Rogan, I'm sure, talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it takes you to a deeper spiritual place. The reason I brought that up is because I held on so tight my first journey that I didn't get what the medicine was trying to give me, right?
Okay.
And it's a plant, right? So plant medicine, same thing as, you know, as cannabis or any other plant medicine for that matter. And my point is that I tried to control the medicine. It's kind of like you're saying with the paranoia, you just kind of had to talk yourself and say, hey, it's just the weed. And I know
Yeah.
you know, but really I had to talk myself with the ayahuasca, and I had to literally talk myself out of controlling my experience because I thought I was going to go there and trip out and like I was, you know, taking a bunch of LSD. That's not what happened. But that was because I tried to control it. Now, my second journey, which is the one I just came back from, was a little bit different because I did finally let go. Anyway, I hope hopefully that related to what you were saying. I think it
No, I totally understand. Yeah. I kind of want to try it, you know?
it was it's quite an experience, dude. I'll be honest with you. It was it's interesting, right? Because, you know, if you've ever taken any kind of psychedelic, which I don't know, I'm assuming you have at some point,
Yeah.
right? So any kind of, it's a different kind of psychedelic, right? And what I mean by that is you don't go there. I thought I was going to go there and feel like I was tripping on mushrooms, but because I expected that, that's not what happened. And so, but what it does, it just takes you to a deeper spiritual connection with the one, whatever that is for you. And I know that for you is God, and for me is God. But it's weird. And the whole week after that, after you're done, so you go in on Friday, right? And you drink for the first time Friday night. You drink twice Friday night, and then Saturday morning you drink again, and then Saturday night you drink again. Okay. So, and you puke hardcore. You puke your
Oh,
fucking
wow.
guts up, dude. And some people shit all over themselves. Some people puke, and then people are
Yeah.
flailing around.
Releasing all those toxins and stuff.
It's wild, dude. It's wild.
Damn.
And
Yeah, it's just releasing all those toxins out of your body and stuff.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
and spiritual things like, oh, just shit comes out of you. I don't know how to explain it, man. It's wild.
Yeah, it's just that, and those endorphins probably start really flaring and stuff like that. It's kind of when you work out, you know, is the why you feel so good after a workout. But this is probably taking it to a whole other level.
Dude, this is like, it takes it to a level that I can't, it's hard to even explain. The level is so deep.
Yeah.
It's hard to even understand. It's hard for me to explain. And people are like, well, I don't understand why you went and did it. Well, unless you go do it and experience it, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's like one thing you got to just go experience it and see. Yeah, I feel you. I love like the spirituals type stuff like that. That really open up your mind. That's what gets you really creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta stay around that creativeness. You know, that's like when you start like for instance, when it's trying to start a clothing brand, man, keep yourself around creative things. And that's one thing that the weed does too. It opens up my mind a lot.
Sure.
I mean, like it really it makes shoot a lot of my great ideas that with the brand have came because I was high. You know what I mean? Yeah. It really opens your mind and makes you think a little bit more. You know what I mean? And
I think that's important.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's interesting because I think everybody, I think it affects everybody a bit differently. I mean, at least that's my opinion. But a lot of people get super creative. A lot of people get super excited. A lot of people get energy. But then some, like myself, I get lazy and tired and lethargic and just like, I just don't really do anything.
And sometimes too, you got to smoke like Sativa is more of an upper. That's usually what I smoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
So Indica is more of a downer and stuff. So if you're smoking Indica, it's like, well, you're probably going to be more sleepier or more. And then, so the term that we have here, me and my friends use, is Indica. How you can tell when you ask what kind of bud you want. If you say Indica, always remember Indica in the couch.
Yeah, I've heard.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's the part of it. So if they say Indica in the couch, so that means I'm gonna be chilling. But Sativa is that upper, that man, you hit that, you're like, woo, like man, I'm up now. You know what I mean? Like you're still chilling, but you're more awake. It's a little bit harder to sleep on. You know, but that's all I smoke is Sativa, even to sleep on. Because I don't like, it's hard. I like my brain to constantly keep working. I don't know. It's like, hey, we live one life, man. Let this brain work as hard as it can, you know? It'll rest whenever I'm dead.
Right. And this is the thing, man. If you're not letting your brain go to work like that and create and be and do, it doesn't grow. You know, no. If you don't keep your mind sharp with these things, not necessarily weed, whatever, but the creativity portion, you gotta keep that stuff fresh.
Oh, big time, man. Always got to be creating in some way, somehow, try to find that. And that's why I like to travel a lot too. I like to get out. You know what I mean? So it's because if not, then I don't see new things. I don't hear new things. I don't hear what other people are saying. And that's why I do like to be around people too, because it's like that somebody could say something. I'm like, oh man, and it just sparks something in my head, and I'm like, cool, I could use that towards this now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So look, my man, let's go ahead and wrap up. Where can people find you on social?
Okay, so
better yet, tell us what the name of the company is, since we haven't even been through that.
Yeah, right. So the name of the company is The Drive Clothing. Okay, and then that's the Instagram, the Drive Clothing, and same thing with Facebook, The Drive Clothing. On my personal Facebook is Chad Lemons. That's my actual name. And then on Instagram is Mr_Drive12. And you can find me on there. And then not much the main two platforms that we use is Facebook and Instagram. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, folks, go check out Chad's clothing line. I'm waiting to get my shirt as we speak. Literally, right. I should be there today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So go follow this guy. Chad, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.